A couple of days ago, Kansas State landed a monster recruit, both in the literal sense and in the recruiting sense. Linkon Cure is one of the craziest players in the class of 2025, as he's actually barely played any games, comes out of an area that doesn't typically produce 5-star players, and according to pretty much everyone around him, has barely scratched the surface. He's currently ranked as a 5-star recruit, and is considered the biggest commitment in Kansas State football history. K-State has been good over the last few years, and has been really solid since Bill Snyder took over, but they've never been known to land all these blue chip type talents. Guys like Josh Freeman, Jake Rubley, and Avery Johnson were all pretty big gets, but Linkon Cure tops them all. In today's video, I want to introduce you to this program-changing player who just committed to the Cats. We're going to talk about why he could be one of the most exciting players in the class of 2025, who this guy is, and what this means for the Wildcats. But before we get started, if you're a big fan of college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next. Now let's get started and talk about Linkon Cure. It's not an exaggeration to say that eyes from across the country were glued to the small town of Goodland, Kansas for the 2023 high school football season. If you had watched the Cowboys play, there was a reason for it. There was a ton of recruiting activity for a 16-year-old kid named Linkon Cure. He pretty much blew up out of nowhere, and it's crazy how cool the process was for him. With his athletic past, many knew that eventually colleges would probably recruit him, but not to the extent that's already been reached for him. His coach said, quote, "Eventually he wanted to get to this point, but did he realize it was going to happen this soon? Maybe not." The craziest part about Cure's recruitment is that he's only played in 13 total high school football games. He played in 4 as a sophomore, and then was sidelined with a hamstring injury. Before that, he played just a couple of snaps as a freshman. His best was yet to come, as this past year as a junior, he completely dominated in the offseason, and also had great play on the field. He caught 42 passes for 946 yards and 14 touchdowns, which is a pretty big deal for a tight end. He was also named a high school All-American because of that, and started to get offers from pretty much every school around the country. There was a ton of buzz about him going into 2023, and he went from just a Midwest recruit to someone who was getting offers from schools on both the Atlantic and Pacific coast and on the northern and southern border. He grew into a household name, and just a couple of weeks ago, he was named a 5-star recruit in the class of 2025. 24/7 Sports had listed him as their number 26 overall player and the number 2 tight end behind Georgia commit Elias Williams. Just a couple of days ago, he finally decided that he was going to commit to Kansas State. Dating back in the 24/7 Sports database, he is the highest rated skill position prospect to ever come out of Kansas since Bryce Brown did so in 2009. According to 24/7 Sports, Linkon Cure is currently a 5-star recruit, the number 2 tight end, and the 28th best player in the class of 2025. With his commitment to K-State, he becomes the Wildcats' first blue chip pledge in the class of 2025, and immediately becomes the cornerstone of this year's class for them. He committed to K-State this past Monday, and as I said earlier, giving them their highest rated prospect ever. At 6'6" and 210 pounds, he has become one of the most sought after players in the country. He decided to pick Kansas State over Oregon, Texas A&M, and Kansas, and he did official visits to all 4 of them. He also visited Miami and had offers from Bama, Texas, and USC. Many believed it was going to come down to Kansas State and the Ducks, but K-State would get his final visit, and then he decided to commit. Why K-State? Well, there were multiple reasons. Playing time, the recent success with tight ends, the proximity to home, and it was his childhood dream. He said, quote, "It almost brought me to tears knowing how much work I've put in, and now this has been my dream since I was a kid. I remember watching Colin Klein in the stands and telling myself I'm going to play here one day." He told the local press about that just after he had received his first scholarship offer from K-State. Yeah, they were the first team that went after him, and he said, quote, "All I could do was look around the room and smile at everybody in the room. It was a dream come true, and it's a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life." I think the craziest part about Cure is that his ceiling is so high and still hasn't been reached. His coach said, quote, "Oh, he can get a lot better. He has a lot of talent right now, but it's very much raw talent, and that's very exciting. Coaches turn on the film and see he's super talented and not even close to his peak yet." Besides football, he was also an elite level athlete in other areas, as he was a state champion in the 300-meter hurdle and also captured gold in the 110-meter hurdle. He also was really good on the basketball court, as he averaged 11 points and 6 rebounds, and the team played for a state title game. The scouting report on Cure is as follows, quote, "He's an elite route runner who creates easy separation off the snap, and he catches 50-50 balls, and he has the frame and skill set to add strength and be even better. The one thing he needs to improve on is being a blocker." Yeah, I'm kind of boring you with some of the facts about this guy, but this is a huge get for Kansas State. He's literally the highest ranked player to ever commit there. He is someone who has nearly a limitless ceiling, should help them have a huge class in 2025, and is trying to help K-State become the premier program in the Big 12. There's sort of a gap for that, and it looks like he could be the next great tight end after they just sent Ben Sinnott to the second round of the draft to the Commanders. I'm definitely curious to see, but this is a big day for Kansas State. They made recruiting history, and they landed a monster. But what do you guys think? If you're a fan of K-State, what do you think of the Linkon Cure commitment? Who's another 2025 player I should do a quick video on? And before you go, don't forget to also leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.